The Texas Supreme Court delivered a blow to abortion providers and pro-abortion activists, issuing a decision that effectively shut down the federal challenge to the Texas Heartbeat Act, SB 8, which bans nearly all abortions after the 6th week of pregnancy when a fetal heartbeat is present. The lead lawyer on the challenge reportedly said the ruling effectively wipes out the lawsuit and leaves no end in sight for the Texas law. The Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, declared it a major victory. So is the Texas Heartbeat Act in the clear? Joining me now to discuss this and more is Mary Szoch, Director of FRC's Center for Human Dignity. Mary, welcome back to the program.
Thanks so much for having me, Joseph.
Good to see you. Now, I want to talk about the Texas Heartbeat Bill, but before we get there, you testified in Maryland on legislation that has been described as some of the most extreme pro-abortion legislation in U.S. history. Tell us about that bill.
Well, Maryland has a host of pro-abortion and pro-life legislation that's going through, and hopefully some of it will be stopped this session. The bill specifically that you're referring to, Joseph, is an attempt to make the quote unquote right to reproductive liberty, which is an unlimited quote unquote right to an abortion, to make that part of the Maryland state constitution, to propose that this be added to the ballot in November, and that the people of Maryland be able to vote on this. This would enshrine in the Maryland Constitution abortion through 9 months of pregnancy. Right now, when we talk about the United States laws on abortion being on par with those of North Korea and China, we're talking about the state of Maryland. We're talking about several other states too, unfortunately, but Maryland in particular. And with this latest effort to place that in the Maryland state constitution, we have a lot of work to do to defend the child in the womb.
Mary, is this legislation a response to the Dobbs case and the thought that Roe versus Wade could be overturned this year?
Well, we've seen this legislation tried in years past. Right before COVID started, we saw this legislation introduced. It's hard to keep track of which legislative session that is. But fortunately, the legislation did not pass at that point. And I think that Maryland is certainly gearing up for a decision in Dobbs, that the legislators there who are pro-abortion believe will impact their state. As I said before, Maryland allows abortion through 9 months of pregnancy. Fortunately, one of the abortionists in Maryland, Leroy Carhart, who has ended the lives of countless unborn babies in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy and maimed several women, he is no longer performing late-term abortions there. So that is a victory for the pro-life movement. But Maryland law still allows this to happen, and this is an effort to allow Maryland to continue to do that long after Roe is overturned.
Now, Mary, in contrast to Maryland and its legislative attempts to move to the left on this issue, the state of Texas has been moving the opposite direction. A lot of headline, a lot of ink spilled about its heartbeat bill, a significant decision out of the state Supreme Court on Friday. Tell us about that.
Well, the state Supreme Court said that state officials are not a party that enforces the Texas Heartbeat Act. And this means that Planned Parenthood essentially has no one to sue over the Texas Heartbeat Act. So the law will stay in place. The people of Texas will be allowed to protect their littlest neighbors in the womb. And this is a great day for the pro-life movement. It's estimated that 100 unborn babies every day are saved by the Texas Heartbeat Act. And we won't know the exact impact of that legislation until we see the number of babies that are actually born. And that obviously won't come out for a few months now. But we do know that abortion numbers in Texas have decreased by over 50%. So this is a huge win for the pro-life movement in Texas.
That is a huge win, and that is exactly why so many people work on the ground. It's why they run for office. It's why they vote, is to see success like that, where the application of public policy is saving lives, because ideas have consequences. Bad ideas have victims. In this case, good ideas help save victims. And so it is great news. Do you have any sense that this Texas strategy, this heartbeat bill, which has been attacked a lot in court, but so far unsuccessfully, are other states picking up on this as a model?
Several other states are picking up on this as a model. I think, though, Joseph, we'll see a transition to other forms of legislation if, and hoping and praying that the Supreme Court does overturn Roe. After we see that ruling come out, I think that we'll see more states enact legislation that can, under the current Supreme Court ruling, protect life in the womb. Until that time, we'll see states continue to try everything possible to defend life in the womb, and that includes enacting mechanisms like the Texas Heartbeat Act.
And we will continue to monitor that. And Mary, we are thankful to you, not only for you tracking what's going on in Texas, but jumping into the fray in Maryland as well, and all that you and your team do. God bless you. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks so much for having me on, Joseph.